Sucharita Kukreti and you're watching Super Prime Time Max. Aishwarya and I will be filling in for Arnab Goswami till he's back on the debate. But for now, today we have 3 primetime debates for you. Debate number 1. Debate number 1 is Yogi a factor in the Jammu Kashmir elections? That's our debate number 1 tonight. And debate number 2. Debate number 2 tonight, Congress and National Conference's win is Pakistan's victory. Is it so? That is our debate number 2. Debate number 3. Debate number 3 tonight will be Himachal follows the Uttar Pradesh way. Is Himachal following suit? Is our debate number 3. But before we start on with the debate, let's have a look at the headlines.
और ये पीडीपी के लोग ये राजनीतिक पार्टी नहीं बल्कि प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनियां हैं, क्योंकि ये राजसत्ता को अपनी बपौती मान करके आम जनता को शोषण करते हैं।
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath tears into Congress, National Conference and PDP. Trifecta says under these 3 parties, Jammu and Kashmir became a warehouse of terror. Yogi's pincer attack comes after Mehbooba Mufti and Omar Abdullah's bulldozer Baba Jai.
उमर अब्दुल्ला अब सपने देख रहे कि मैं मुख्यमंत्री बनूंगा। दोनों चरणों में एनसी और कांग्रेस का सुपड़ा साफ हो गया है, साफ।
Union Home Minister Amit Shah on campaign train Jammu says Congress and National Conference's win is Pakistan's victory. He adds that National Conference Chief Omar Abdullah is daydreaming of becoming Chief Minister, which will never turn into a reality. Flip-flop. First, the Congress government in Himachal toured Uttar Pradesh's model on eateries. Soon after being rebuked by the High Command, they take a sharp U-turn and now say that they need to review the order. Ladies and gentlemen, the people of Jammu and Kashmir have shown unprecedented enthusiasm in the ongoing assembly elections, with record voter turnouts in the first 2 phases and remarkable discipline in carrying out free and fair polls peacefully. As the election now nears its final stages, all parties are leaving no stone unturned to change the tide of their fortunes. Amidst this, the BJP deployed its top heavyweight leaders in the campaign fray today, including Home Minister Amit Shah and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. While Shah has been unrelenting in his charge, it is Yogi Adityanath who's emerging as a key figure in the electoral discourse of Jammu and Kashmir with his bulldozer Baba brand, with both Mehbooba Mufti and Omar Abdullah invoking Yogi on the campaign trail. Mehbooba Mufti even went on to say that Yogi Adityanath should be arrested. Yes, she said that he should be arrested. The big question emerges then, is UP CM Yogi Adityanath becoming a key factor in the Jammu and Kashmir elections? Take a look at this report and then we debate.
The election battle in the final phase of Jammu and Kashmir is heating up.
चुनाव में कांग्रेस पार्टी स्वीप करने जा रही है, आंधी आ रही है।
जम्मू कश्मीर में एनसी और कांग्रेस का सुपड़ा साफ हो गया। जहां हुए बलिदान मुखर्जी वो कश्मीर।
After 2 phases of record voting, Jammu and Kashmir is set to seal the fate of the Union Territory in the first assembly elections in 10 days in the final phase on October 1st. Amidst the final push for electoral glory, the BJP deployed its heavyweights, Home Minister Amit Shah and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, in the campaign fray.
उमर अब्दुल्ला अब सपने देख रहे थे कि मैं मुख्यमंत्री बनूंगा। दो चुनाव के चरण समाप्त हो गए। बनी वालों में आज परिणाम बता देता हूं। दोनों चरणों में एनसी और कांग्रेस का सुपड़ा साफ हो गया है। साफ
शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से चुनाव और भारतीय जनता पार्टी की यहां पर वापसी, याद रखना, पाक अधिकृत कश्मीर भी फिर कश्मीर का ही पार्ट होने वाला है, जम्मू कश्मीर का ही भाग होने वाला है।
However, it was Yogi Adityanath who was in the crosshairs of Mehbooba Mufti, who trained her guns at the UP Chief Minister for his well-known reputation as the bulldozer Baba.
जिनके ऊपर अयोध्या में श्री राम ने बुलडोजर चला दिया उस सीट पे, तो उसको तो लोगों को पकड़ के जेल में डालना चाहिए था, जैसे वो एनकाउंटर करते हैं, पर वहां तो कुछ नहीं किया। यहाँ आएंगे अब घंटी बजाने के लिए।
It was not just Mehbooba who went on the offensive against Yogi Adityanath. Just a couple of weeks ago, former Chief Minister and NC leader Omar Abdullah too targeted Yogi's bulldozer action.
यूपी में जिस तरह मुसलमानों के घरों पे, दुकानों पे रोज बुलडोजर चलाए जाते हैं, उसका तो परसों सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उसका जायजा लिया और कहा यह गैर कानूनी है।
CM Yogi too did not hold back on his attack on the NC Congress PDP trifecta.
ये कांग्रेस के लोग, ये नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस और ये पीडीपी के लोग, ये राजनीतिक पार्टी नहीं बल्कि प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनियां हैं, क्योंकि ये राजसत्ता को अपनी बबौती मान करके आम जनता का शोषण करते हैं।
Tearing into the Congress, NC and PDP terror sympathy, Yogi said, under these three parties, Jammu and Kashmir became a warehouse of terror.
अन्यथा ये कांग्रेस हो या पीडीपी या फिर नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस, ये सभी तो जम्मू कश्मीर को आतंकवाद का एक वेयरहाउस बना चुके थे।
With the political war of words heating up in the final stages of campaigning, the biggest question that emerges is Yogi Adityanath becoming a central figure in the national electoral discourse? Is Yogi becoming a factor in Jammu and Kashmir elections?
And I'm joined by the national spokesperson for the BJP, Sanju Verma, on the debate, and Aarti Tikku, senior journalist, joins us on the debate as well. Political analyst and film director Ashok Pandit joins us on the debate. So does Ahmed Ayaz and Congress leader Sheikh Amir. We also have PDP's MLA candidate Aditya Gupta joining us on the debate. Thank you so much for taking out time for being on the debate. And let me start with Aditya Gupta, because he's also fighting, he's also contesting elections this time. Aditya, I haven't seen Mehbooba Mufti speak so fiercely against stone pelters, against terrorists, against perpetrators of violence, against the Kashmiri Pandits. But she's speaking so fiercely about a chosen CM, a chief minister, Yogi Adityanath. Why is the PDP rattled by Yogi Adityanath's presence in the valley?
First of all, Yogi Adityanath is absolutely not relevant as far as Jammu and Kashmir politics are concerned. As a matter of fact, the BJP itself has lost its relevance. If you go through the streets of the whole election campaign of BJP, it is completely centered with regard to Kashmir. But when it comes to Jammu, from where they actually won the seats, they're absolutely quiet, because the Jammu streets are full of anger as far as BJP is concerned. Our basic identity has been compromised. Our economic structure has been completely demolished. The corruption allegation on the BJP-led government and from the center, which is governed by the LG, with regard to 13,000 crore Jal Jeevan Mission scam allegation leveled by an IAS officer against the LG office, are very prominent. Smart meters has become an issue here. The economic breakdown, the drug mafia has penetrated into the Jammu streets. Jammu being, if you know, historically has been a city of temples. Now it has become a city of thekas. We have more thekas than in comparison to the number of temples that were in the city.
Aditya,
So these are the issues. And
Aditya, you speak about Yogi not being relevant in these elections in the JNK. You're saying he's not relevant. But even before Yogi actually came into the valley to be canvassing for the party, your leaders are the one who are talking about him. Now, Mehbooba Mufti is speaking about sending him to jail. And Omar Abdullah earlier was speaking in his rallies about the bulldozer model in Kashmir. Now, why is he speaking about Yogi Adityanath and his model in Kashmir? He should be speaking about the Kashmir issues.
Exactly.
So, the leaders are invoking him. He's walked in later.
Should I answer it?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, two things happened. When Omar Abdullah said it, the day after Supreme Court rebuked him as far as this bulldozer system is concerned. See, I happen to be a lawyer. What we understand is that every person, even if it is his fault in India, has to be issued a notice first before demolishing his houses. They were pick places and demolition took taking place. So that was a jibe at him by Omar Abdullah. As far as Mehbooba Mufti is concerned, because his plan was scheduled for today and he had to come in, and BJP cadre has been again and again saying that there will be a bulldozer Raj in Jammu, which was the reason because of which they denied even a person named as Kavendra Gupta his mandate. He was the former chief minister, denied his mandate in Jammu because he said that we will bring the bulldozer Raj in Jammu. And that was not accepted in Jammu. That was the answer. Even the BJP leadership at the center knows that bulldozer Raj and these things will not work in Jammu. You have to talk about progress of Jammu. And so bringing Yogi, he's just a campaigner who you are trying to ignite the complete politics against the religion.
Is it so, Aditya? Is it so, Verma? I clearly feel that the opposition and Mehbooba Mufti, the PDP and National Conference are rattled by Yogi Adityanath's presence. As I said,
he's absolutely irrelevant as such.
As I say this because he's being brought into rallies and canvassing by the leaders themselves even before he stepped into Kashmir, even before he stepped into the valley. Sanju.
Thank you, Sucharita. I have to make a few quick rebuttals. Because I think there was a whole bunch of lies that was peddled by Aditya Gupta. Point number one, he kept mentioning the word economy. So let me educate him that as recently as 2013, the size of Jammu and Kashmir's GDP was less than $5 billion. It was barely in the region of $2.5 billion. And today, the size of Jammu and Kashmir's economy is more than $7 billion plus. Point number one. Point number two, thanks to the abrogation of Article 370, you've seen stone pelting incidents come down by 100%. You've seen, lone wolf terror incidents come down by 69%. You've seen civilian casualties down by 82%, and casualties of armed personnel, that is down by 44%. And this is not data Sanju Verma is throwing off a hat. I'm quoting numbers which were given by Amit Shah a couple of weeks back to a leading media house. Point number three, today beat the Srinagar internal ring road, beat the Jammu Pathankot expressway, which is being made into a 6-lane state-of-the-art modern expressway, or for that matter, the Delhi-Katra Amritsar expressway. These are state-of-the-art infrastructure projects which are going to increase connectivity between Jammu Kashmir and other parts of India, mainstreaming and integrating Jammu Kashmir further, with just about everybody around. And the most important point is this. Thanks to the Narendra Modi government, we used Article 3 of the Constitution to redraw the boundaries of Jammu Kashmir. Thanks to the Narendra Modi government, Article 370 was abrogated, and today Valmikis not only have the rights to cast their votes, but they also have the rights to participate in the electoral process, a fundamental right which was denied to them for decades together. Don't forget that Jammu Kashmir was the victim of a massive earthquake way back in 2005.
Right.
And then in 2010-11, you had massive floods. And each time the Abdullah family was seen missing in action. Whereas if you look at Prime Minister Narendra Modi, be it the Chenani Nashri tunnel, which was started in 2011, but was brought to fruition in 2017 by the Modi government, be it implementing recommendations of the 7th Pay Commission, be it ensuring that 800 archaic laws which are no longer relevant are no longer applicable in the areas of Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh, or for that matter, giving Ladakh its first.
No, but the PDP and NC and Congress very clearly, Sanju, saying that it's going to be a victory for them. It's not going to be. It's just for polarization that Yogi Adityanath has been got into these elections. Now, I will come to you, Aditya. Let me just take an initial comment from all the panelists. Let me take an initial. Okay, I will just take an initial comment from all the panelists. I will come back to you. Let me go across to Sheikh. Amir, what is very clear is that when it comes to attacking Yogi Adityanath, you will do it all the way. But when it comes to taking up the Yogi model, isn't it happening in Himachal? The nameplate model, which you all ridiculed, has been put up in Himachal. And now your leader, your senior leader, Vikramaditya Singh, he very clearly said that it is the UP model that we are trying to take up here. Now, whatever things have changed, he's been called to Delhi. But then there are leaders who are looking up to Yogi Adityanath for the work he's doing, and they are very much in the Congress. Sheikh Amir.
I don't think there is any relevance of Yogi Adityanath in state rather UT of Jammu and Kashmir.
Okay.
He is a man of destruction, man of fear, and he has been called here to divide people. And I don't think, and if you're talking about whether people are happy or not, whatever the BJP, I think the spokesperson of BJP was talking about what BJP has done in Jammu and Kashmir. Let me tell you, the result you are talking about, if I take you back to Lok Sabha elections, out of 6, BJP lost 4. So you need to wait till 8th of October. You will see people have voted. They will give the result. They will give you the certificate. What BJP has done. Let me tell you what BJP has done. When Article 370 was abrogated, many reasons and many promises were given to the people of Jammu and Kashmir. What happened? Is terrorism over in Jammu and Kashmir? What about the Pulwama attack? What about the terrorism which has actually shifted to the Jammu division? And they are making this is a rhetoric. All they are doing is a cosmetic approach.
No, so what are you more disturbed about? The fact that 370 was abrogated, or the fact that the promises have not been fulfilled? What is the problem about?
The problem about is, when you talk about problem, what has been done in Jammu and Kashmir? Jammu and Kashmir has been taken, actually, the drums were beaten all over in
Sheikh
other states.
Amir, I'm just trying to rephrase it in another way. Are you trying to say that abrogation of 370 is fine with you? Is that not an issue anymore? If that is so, then say it loud and clear on the debate tonight.
No, not in any way. You took away, you snatched the statehood from us. We have seen in India, we've seen UTs become, since 1950, we've seen the UTs become state. It's first time happened in the independent India that a state was actually degraded to a union territory, and that too since last 10 years, where people are waiting when the democracy will be restored, when they will get this right to vote. Now they are getting this right to vote. You have brought a person to Jammu and Kashmir who has no relevance and who is actually
but if he has no relevance is what my question is. Amir, if he has no relevance, why is he the talking point in your rallies? Why has he become the talking point even before he steps into the valley? Why has he become a talking point? Is it
actually you are trying to you are trying to make him hero, when you are trying to
I'm not trying to make him a hero. No, sir, I'm not trying to make him a hero. I'm just trying to understand. You want to completely negate the presence of Yogi Adityanath, but you also want to speak about him. Mr. Pandit, why are the leaders in the valley speaking about Yogi Adityanath when they completely negate his presence?
Yes, he is very popular.
What does Omar Abdullah say in his rallies? Omar Abdullah said that the Muslims in the country are being bulldozed. He was not just criticizing the bulldozer model. He was very clearly saying that the Muslims in the country are being bulldozed and all your mosque will be wiped out if Yogi Adityanath stays. That is what he was saying. Wasn't he spreading lies?
But I know that he is a man of destruction. When a person is known as a bulldozer,
my question was to Ashok Pandit. Amir, I will come back to you.
Sucharita ji, thank you for calling me for your show. Now, I heard representatives of Congress and PDP in your show now. See, it's very important to understand one thing, that those people who were into business of terrorism in Kashmir, in Jammu and Kashmir from last so many years, and as a result we suffered the worst possible genocide, are giving lectures to Yogi Adityanath that he's a destroyer, he's into destruction and all that. Yogi Adityanath doesn't need any lectures from anyone, or nor does he have to prove what is his success rate and where he has brought UP from where to where at succession. Now let me introduce PDP to the country through your channel. 1986, I'll give you the example of destruction. 1986, all the temples of Kashmiri Pandits were broken in Kashmir, and the main architect was Mehbooba Mufti's father, Mufti Muhammad Sayyid. The first exodus of Kashmiri Pandits happened in 1986. We returned back, and in 1990, Congress, PDP, National Conference were responsible for the worst possible genocide, ethnic cleansing of 4.5 lakh Kashmiri Pandits from Kashmir. Bulldozers were, he's talking about notice. He's not talking, one sec. Let me finish. I didn't interfere when you were talking, sir. Let me finish. They're talking about notices not being issued by Yogi Adityanath. 4.5 lakh people, when they were dishoused, when they were thrown out, when their schools were burnt, their houses were burnt, their women were raped, no notices were issued to us. So people who are into business of terrorism have no right to talk about anybody's destruction or anybody's character assassination. Today, what we had faced in Kashmir before Article 370 was faced, and when these people were ruling Jammu and Kashmir, the entire valley was into darkness. Youths were having stones in their hands. Today they have the books in their hands. They have musical instruments in their hands. They are the best RJs. They are the best cinematographers. They are the best writers. And Kashmir is growing from glory to glory. There are hope. Youngsters are hopeful about their careers, about their professions and all that. This is not suiting the present dispensation of PDP, leadership of PDP and Congress and NC, because they had taken Kashmir to darkness. Kashmir is coming back to light, and this is not suiting them because the politics which they played from last 70 years in Jammu and Kashmir is going out. And that's why you're seeing the voter turnout in Jammu and Kashmir.
Mr. Pandit, that is exactly what I want to talk about right now. This is exactly what I want to talk about, because before I get in Aarti Tikku,
that's why these people are restless that Yogi Adityanath has come. Yogi Adityanath represents progress. Yogi Adityanath represents dynamism.
Has the landscape changed in Kashmir? Ahmed Ayaz.
How they are growing there.
Mr. Ayaz, now there are several ground reports coming from Kashmir, and it's not just here during the elections. They'd been coming in from Kashmir earlier as well, where children didn't go to school for months together. Now children are going to school. Stone pelting is stopped. So there are endless things that I could go on about. But what I'm trying to ask is, things have changed in the valley, but the political pressure is such that you will not be able to praise a Modi or praise a Yogi. You will not be able to do that because there is a political compulsion.
Can I quickly come in, Sucharita?
Sanju, I'm coming to you before. I'll just take an initial comment from her.
They have looted, they have become multi-millionaires.
I think
their kids are studying abroad.
Mr. Ayaz, I asked you that question. Yes. Go ahead.
You're right. You see, situations keep on changing from time to time. What was there in 1947 had not been there up to 1990, and what was there in 1990 is not there in 2024, and what is today in 2004 may not be after 10 years. You see, situations keep on changing. This is a natural phenomena. Well, it cannot also be ignored that in the process administration must have done something which must have yielded positive results. That also cannot be ignored.
No, is it a natural phenomena?
Situation itself speaks.
No, Mr. Ayaz, natural phenomena?
Yeah, changing of situation, yeah.
No, sir, it is not a natural phenomena.
There was, in the meantime,
it was not a natural phenomena, sir. Abrogation of 370 required a proper political will. It was not a natural phenomena, and that has changed the landscape in Kashmir.
Will you have No, will you have a reply? You have your response to the question.
Yeah, go ahead. It was an interjection. I will do that.
that the stone pelting,
Yes.
stone pelting has come to now zero. Why? Because there is a security grid right now. More bunkers are seen there on the national on the road.
Sir, it's the other way around. As far as I've reported from Kashmir, it's the other way around. It's the other way around, Mr. Ayaz. I have been in Kashmir. I have been to Kashmir, reported from there myself so many times.
There is something wrong with your audio.
Has given them everything.
Okay, let me go across to
I'm not
Aarti
in a
Tikku.
position
Sanju,
to-
I'll come back to you. I'll come to you. One initial comment from Aarti Tikku. Aarti, he's saying that the situation has completely changed because there are loads of security personnel deployed now. I have been to Kashmir myself several times and I've reported from there.
also.
Before abrogation of 370, we used to see pickets after a few meters everywhere. Things have changed. So many tourists coming and flocking Kashmir now. He's saying it's a natural phenomena.
Well, thank you for inviting me to this discussion today. Clearly, Mr. Ayaz is lying through his teeth, and he is doing exactly what most of the mainstream politicians in Kashmir have been doing for the last 75 years. This is the same template, the same book that the National Conference, the Abdullahs, the Muftis did year after year in Kashmir, pushing innocent, poor families into drudgery, pushing them into misery and suffering caused by mayhem, caused by terrorism. It was a conflict industry that these families and these political parties had been running, and Yogi ji is absolutely spot on. He has nailed it. He has called them rightly. He's given them the right word. The warehouse of terrorism was actually being operated by these political parties and these families. Now, for him to say that there has been no change, it is absolutely ridiculous, because I've covered Jammu and Kashmir for the last 24 years. I'm a Kashmiri myself. I was part of the exodus in 1990.
Right.
I returned as a journalist, and ever since, I have been covering J&K year after year. Right now, I am in Srinagar. I have been, in fact, I covered the parliamentary elections. I am here with my team. We are covering the Union Territory Assembly elections. And I can tell you with great confidence that the kind of transformation that Jammu and Kashmir has seen in the last 5 years is a transformation that I have not seen as a young, kid, Kashmiri Pandit kid in 89, 90, and then coming back as a journalist. And I haven't seen this kind of transformation ever.
Yes.
The fact is that today, in the last 5 years, I have seen ordinary Kashmiri Muslim families heaving a sigh of relief because they are able to send their children to schools, to colleges, to universities without worrying that whether they would be coming back home in the evening or not. I have seen businesses which are now opening every single day of the week, even on Sundays. And for years altogether, there were months, businesses would not open. For example, tourism sector was completely defunct in Kashmir. It was like families who had been running tourism business.
No, but is this... I think Mr. Ayaz in what he said has sparked off a completely different debate. This is a debate in itself. A natural phenomena, things stabilizing, becoming normal. This is a different debate altogether.
You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. I want to make one point.
I would like to respond to Ms. Tikku. We see practically...
For him, terrorism is a natural phenomena. If you are saying that, if the conflict industry that was being run here, is that a natural phenomena?
No, I said change.
You are completely
No, I said change.
dishonest.
No, but sir,
wait,
this
wait,
change
wait,
is
wait,
not a natural phenomenon, is what we are talking about.
You are
Try to
dishonest
understand.
to your people.
I said that
You are
change, whatever is
completely
taking place,
dishonest.
whatever we see on the
You are
ground,
completely
it is somewhat
dishonest to
natural.
your people.
That the
Terrorism
credit
was
definitely
not
will go to the
natural.
present administration.
Terrorism was not
Nobody can
natural.
deny
The
that.
conflict in
But the
So
Kashmir
point
was
is
who's
there are
taking
many
care of the
factors.
Kashmir administration right now, Mr. Ayaz?
It is not
Who's
that
taking care of the
everything
Kashmir
is
administration right now?
That has nothing
Let me go across to Sanju.
Okay. Ongoing disturbance in Kashmir.
Mr. Ayaz, let me go across to Sanju Verma.
If you say that
Right.
70 has been abrogated into
Sanju,
the draft,
I think he's part of a different debate altogether. But it's very clear. It's very clear that there has been a very strong political will in abrogating 370. And that is precisely why everyone now and then talks about getting it back, because that holds their votes.
Sucharita, am I audible?
Yes. Please go ahead.
No, it is. See, see, there are. We see.
Okay,
we
Mr.
see
Ayaz, I'll come
changes
back to you.
are there,
Let
there are
Sanju make a
better
point.
changes.
Let
But to
Sanju
say
make a
that-
point. I'll come back to you.
Thank you. Sucharita, I think, Aarti Tikku actually laid out some ground facts which capture the essence of what exactly has happened in the last 5 years in terms of the development agenda working on the ground. But my limited point is this. People who are sitting and questioning the bona fides of Yogi Adityanath, do you know something? Every single act that has been undertaken by bulldozing, the houses of criminals, that has been done via the Gangster Act of 1986. And guess what? The Gangster Act was passed when Veer Bhadra Singh of the Congress was the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. He was the Chief Minister between 1985 and 1988. And he is the one who actually introduced stringent Section 24 of the Gangster Act. और उसी के तहत आज योगी आदित्यनाथ सेक्शन 24 का उपयोग करके जो सही लगता है वो करते हैं बुलडोजर एक्टिविटी के द्वारा. Point number 1. Point number 2. Let me say one thing very clearly. Somebody said, oh, BJP lost seats in Jammu Kashmir in the Lok Sabha. Please understand, Omar Abdullah lost from Baramulla to Rashid Engineer, though I'm not a fan of Rashid Engineer. The same Mehbooba Mufti lost from Anantnag Rajouri to Mia Altaf Ahmed, though I'm not a fan of Mia Altaf Ahmed. And the last and most important point is this. People like Omar Abdullah who give lectures on secularism, people like Rahul Gandhi who call the BJP outsiders, people like Mehbooba Mufti who actually ask the likes of Pakistan to intervene in Kashmir to ensure peace, we don't need lectures from this lot, because this is the same lot which mocked the brutal rape and death of Girija Tikku. This is the same lot which mocked the death of Justice Neelkant Ganju. This is the same lot which mocked the death of Tikalal Taplu. This is the same lot which mocked the death of engineer B.K. Ganju, who was shot through a rice bag. So I don't think the BJP is here for the short term. We are in Kashmir for the long haul. And I think the best example of that is the fact that even at the time of COVID, during the second wave, do you know something? 3,000 kilometers of fresh highways were added to Kashmir. Kashmir became the first completely free region from the COVID pandemic.
And I think Sanju, when the Home Minister was there today in the valley, he's addressed some of those very important points. Mr. Ayaz, I'm coming back to you. I also need to go to Aditya. I also need to go to Amir. They've been waiting. But before that, I just want to tell my viewers that a seismic political battle is unfolding in the heart of Jammu and Kashmir. In this whole charged atmosphere, the Union Home Minister, Amit Shah, as I said, has ripped into Omar Abdullah's political ambitions. And he's accused him of clinging to the dream of becoming the Chief Minister once again. Amit Shah, in his inimitable style, he lashed out in Kathua saying Omar, who once boldly declared that he wouldn't contest elections until statehood was restored, is now so fearful that he's running from not one but 2 separate seats. 2 seats. A move that reeks of desperation. Shah also argued, calling it out as a clear indication of Omar Abdullah's fragile position in these elections. Amit Shah has also lambasted the 3 dynastic families that have ruled Jammu and Kashmir for decades Now, let's just listen into what the Home Minister had to say, and we will continue with the debate.
उमर अब्दुल्ला अब सपने देख रहे थे कि मैं मुख्यमंत्री बनूंगा। 2 चुनाव के चरण समाप्त हो गए। बनी वालों में आज परिणाम बता देता हूं। दोनों चरणों में एनसी और कांग्रेस का सुपड़ा साफ हो गया है, साफ। और ये उमर साहब कहते थे, डर के मारे कहते थे, जब तक स्टेटहुड नहीं मिलेगा हम चुनाव नहीं लड़ेंगे। फिर कहा मैं गंदरबल से लड़ूंगा। फिर डर लगा तो अब 2-2 जगह से चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं, 2-2 जगह से, और कह रहे हैं कांग्रेस एनसी आई तो स्टेटहुड वापिस आएगा। अरे क्या झूठ बोल रहे हो भाई। मैंने जब धारा 370 हटाने का बिल पार्लियामेंट में रखा तभी मोदी जी के आदेश से कहा था चुनाव के बाद हम जम्मू कश्मीर को राज्य का स्टेटस वापिस देने वाले हैं, वापिस देने वाले। और राहुल बाबा आप कैसे दे सकते हो? आप दे नहीं सकते क्योंकि आप तो विरोध पक्ष में बैठे हो। मिल तो तभी सकता है जब भाजपा देना चाहे। अगर इस चुनाव में जिन्होंने जम्मू कश्मीर को 40 साल तक आतंक की परछाई में रखा वो चुनकर आए तो यहां पर पाकिस्तान के इरादों की जीत होगी, पाकिस्तान के इरादे। मुझे बताओ, एनसी, कांग्रेस, पीडीपी जीतेंगे तो पाकिस्तान के इरादों की जीत होगी या नहीं होगी? बोलो जरा, होगी या नहीं होगी? और हमारा मनकोटिया जीत कर आ गया तो पूरा हिंदुस्तान फटाके जलाएगा। कल उमर अब्दुल्ला जी और राहुल बाबा कहते थे हम कश्मीर में लोकतंत्र लाएंगे। अरे किस मुंह से आपके 70 साल तक कश्मीर के लोकतंत्र को ये 3 परिवारों ने बांध कर रखा। अब्दुल्ला परिवार, गांधी परिवार और मुफ्ती परिवार। मुझे बताओ भाइयों बहनों, अब आपके यहां पंच सरपंच भी है, ब्लॉक के चुनाव भी हुए, जिले के चुनाव भी हुए, पहले होते थे क्या? जोर से बोलो, होते थे? मोदी जी ने 40,000 जनप्रतिनिधियों को लोकतंत्र का फायदा पहुंचाने का काम हमारे नेता नरेंद्र मोदी, ये 3 परिवारों ने अपने चट्टे सिर्फ 87 विधायक बनाए। हमने 30,000 से ज्यादा पंच, सरपंच, तहसील पंचायत, जिला पंचायत बनाई और इन्होंने जो भ्रष्टाचार की गंगा बनाई थी उसको नीचे तक से सफाई करने का काम नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने किया।
So, to what the Home Minister said about Omar Abdullah and his chief ministerial ambitions, let me go across to Amir first. Amir, did not Omar Abdullah very clearly say that he's not going to be contesting elections till the statehood is brought back? Now, he's in the political fray, he's fighting from 2 seats. Why? What makes you think that people would believe? After all, he made a false promise.
First of all, let me tell you, I'm not the spokesperson of National Conference, but
you're in a coalition with
this is our
party.
Kashmir, and wherever we want, this is our Kashmir, this is our Jammu and Kashmir. Wherever we want to fight, whether on 1 seat or 2 seats, nobody is going to dictate where to fight, where not to fight. First.
No, that
Second,
comes. That
when-
question comes from the fact that he himself had said he would not contest elections till the statehood is brought back.
It depends.
And I asked you this question
depends.
because you're in a coalition with Omar
depends.
Abdullah. So questions.
It depends on the circumstances. It depends on the circumstances, the challenges and the conspiracies that BJP was trying to make here. So it depends on the circumstances. What were the circumstances earlier?
How has the circumstance
circumstances
changed? How has the circumstance changed from the abrogation of 370 to now?
What is the problem? What is the problem BJP is having in that? He is fighting on two constituencies, and constituencies lie in Jammu and Kashmir. What's the problem in that? But let me tell you, somebody was saying that Omar Abdullah lost. He didn't lose to Bharatiya Janata Party. Who won from North Kashmir? Who is this Mia Altaf? Is he from BJP? No, he was from National Conference. They are misleading people. They are lying on the national television. Second, and
You're saying that it's okay to lose. You just don't want to lose to the BJP.
The Home Minister of a country is saying that if Congress NC alliance wins, it is a win for Pakistan. What nonsense he is speaking. He is actually giving clean chit to Pakistan, actually blaming everything on.
No, that's because you speak about bringing back 370. They also speak about bringing back 370. That's exactly why he's saying that. I'm not a spokesperson for the Home Minister, but that's exactly why he's saying that. Isn't that so? Isn't that so? Ashok Pandit?
Only talks with Pakistan will solve the Kashmir problem.
Don't interrupt. Don't interrupt, Mr. Ashok. Don't interrupt. Let me speak. When they say that everything is going good, it is development is going on. Actually, development for them. अच्छे दिन इनके लिए. Development not for Kashmir. Come to Kashmir. The economy is hit. When they say that we are giving books to Kashmiri.
हमारे लिए मतलब हिंदुस्तान के लिए है.
What?
Mr. Pandit, go ahead. Mr. Pandit, go ahead.
Continue.
अच्छे दिन तो हिंदुस्तान के लिए है ना, आमिर साहब. हिंदुस्तान के लिए अच्छे दिन है.
अच्छे दिन हिंदुस्तान के लिए आपके अच्छे दिन है. आप आइए कश्मीर देखिए. आप tourism is not अच्छे दिन. Come to Kashmir and see the economy is hit. People are jobless. Which job you are talking about? The people you come on your national television and debate there. Actually, अच्छे दिन उनके लिए
आमिर साहब आप बाहर निकलिए. लोगों से पूछिए हाल चाल क्या कश्मीर के. हमको दिखता नहीं है क्या?
I am in Kashmir.
I am a Kashmiri and I know what's happening in the AC room. So don't challenge our intelligence. As far as Kashmir is concerned,
you are lecturing us sitting in Delhi, lecturing from the bedroom in AC bedroom. You are lecturing us. We are from Kashmir. We live here. We know the situation and circumstances.
I have a right to lecture from anyone. I am not lecturing. I'm seeing the facts.
No. You don't have right.
I have the guts to see the reality. I have the guts to see what's happening there. I am the victim of your terrorism. I am the victim of your terrorism. I am the victim of your genocide. I am the victim of your ethnic cleansing. So don't make fun of it. So don't make fun of it. Don't tell me or don't challenge me, my intelligence, to understand what is happening in Kashmir. Don't do that.
I call people like you.
If you know what's happening in Kashmir, we also know what's happening in Kashmir.
You the conflict beneficiaries.
Okay.
You are the beneficiaries of the conflict. You are the beneficiaries. People like you. Don't try to be representatives of Kashmiri Pandits. You are nobody.
I can be sitting in any part.
You are nobody.
That's not important.
Amir, what I really want to understand is you're saying there is no benefit of abrogation of 370. You say things have not changed. Is that what you're saying? Things have not changed.
That's why we are out of Kashmir.
Yes.
Mr. Amir.
Things have not changed. So do you want to go back to the pre-370 days? You want to go back to those days? You want to say that those days were better off? You were better off?
Yes,
there were jobs.
When 370 was abroad.
There was safety. There was no stone pelting. Those were better days.
We want protection of jobs. We want protection for our land. When 370 got abrogated in the parliament, in Lok Sabha,
you're lying through your teeth.
Minister,
you do not even know how to spell economy. More than 1.8 crore tourists came into Jammu Kashmir in the last 18 months.
Madam,
there's a direct flight from Srinagar to Dubai.
Tourists were coming earlier also. Don't say tourists are coming.
No, tourists are coming earlier also. Can you give me the figures? Can you give me the figures in 2013? Not even 20 lakh tourists used to come to Jammu Kashmir. Today that number has risen from 20 lakh to almost 2 crore tourists visiting Jammu Kashmir every single year. From being a power deficit state, Jammu Kashmir today is largely a power surplus state. Today you have AIMS which is coming up in Avanti-Pora. You have AIMS which is there in Jammu. Today the people of Jammu Kashmir have rejected and discarded the polarizing communal politics of the National Conference, the polarizing communal politics of Farooq Abdullah and his son Omar Abdullah. इसलिए आपके पेट में इतना दर्द हो रहा है. How dare you talk about Amit Shah? Amit Shah
Yes,
ji ne
you're talking about dinas.
पूरा का पूरा कश्मीर हमारा है.
What is the qualification of the son of Home Minister?
कश्मीर हमारा है.
What is the qualification of Desha?
Do you think POK belongs to India? Yes or no? जवाब दो. Do you think POK belongs to India? Yes or no? पहले इसका जवाब दो. बाद में भाषण देना.
It doesn't matter whether I think or not. If you think like that, go and capture it. You always say we'll take it. Take it. Government belongs to you. Power belongs to you. You are sitting in Delhi. Take it.
See what is coming across? What is coming across? Amir, what really is coming across? I would like to spell it. I would like to spell what is coming across through this debate and the argument that you're making. It's very clear, Aarti, it's very clear that the problem is with the fact that the BJP is in the center. The BJP is there in the center. So, and it comes across from the point. Amir said we haven't lost. Who makes you think that Omar Abdullah lost Baramulla? He did not lose to the BJP. So the problem is that till the BJP is around, that is the problem.
He did not lose to the BJP. He lost.
But he did not lose to the BJP, so it's a victory for him. It's a moral victory for him.
So I should be clapping for Mehbooba Mufti.
Aarti.
Some deranged logic.
What it really indicates is the fact that the National Conference, PDP, and of course their ally, the Congress Party, are really banking on communal rhetoric in Kashmir. They are playing the same communal, soft separatist politics, restoration of Article 370, continuously demonizing the other. In this particular case, the other is BJP, the other is basically Hindu or Hindutva represented by the BJP. This demonization is the source of their regressive politics. It has always been the source of their regressive politics in the last 75 years. They're banking on this politics and hoping that the Abdullahs and the Muftis will come back, of course, in alliance with the Congress Party. The last time the Congress and National Conference were in an alliance in 1987, you know what happened in Kashmir? Well, we had Jammu and Kashmir Liberation Front taking up arms. We had Hizbul Mujahideen terrorists in and around Kashmir and killing not just Kashmiri Hindus but also every Kashmiri Muslim who was raising his slogan and his voice for the sake of for India and Indian national interests. So the problem really is that any nationalist voice, any person who is openly supporting India, who is openly saying, yes, it is important to have Hindu-Muslim coexistence, it is important to have pluralistic existence, that is something that they do not like. They do not want that. They want conflict industry because conflict industry has produced enormous wealth for a very small section of people, especially the Srinagar elite, and of course the Abdullahs and the Muftis.
So
that's what they want. That is why
they're been ruling Kashmir for the last 3 decades. Now, Ahmed Ayaz, as a Kashmiri, I want to ask you, who do you see as the Chief Minister in Jammu Kashmir? Who do you see as the Chief Minister? Now, very clearly, Amit Shah saying that Omar Abdullah daydreaming of becoming the Chief Minister.
All these leaders of National Congress of PDP,
yes,
they left
the trouble is that I am disrupting. That's the problem. Somebody is interrupting.
And they're all, their
kids
were out abroad studying and making their careers outside.
See.
Okay, so Mr. Ayaz, quickly.
Should I make my point?
Yes, please go ahead.
You see, you have asked it a very good question. You see, as we see that National Conference in Kashmir would be getting a good number of seats, and then BJP would be getting good number of seats in Jammu, followed by the Congress, and then in Kashmir it will be followed by the PDP. We were expecting the factor of Rashid Najib will work, but possibly it will not work in terms of numbers. Maybe it gets good votes in all segments, assembly segments, but may not get a sizable number
but sir,
of
Omar Abdullah
seats.
very clearly saying that Rahul is not even working in Jammu. He's given a major chunk of seats to them in Jammu. There, he's not even there.
No.
He's not even working there.
Integral part of India, हाँ या ना, इसका जवाब दो. POK is an integral part of India, हाँ या ना.
That is
जवाब दो. You come on national television and you speak like Pakistani propagandists. And you expect that the people of Jammu Kashmir will vote.
Okay, Sanju, let him make his point. Sanju, let him make his point.
Living in cuckoo's land. POK हमारा है या नहीं, पहले इसका जवाब दो. आपको इतनी हिचकिचाहट क्यों हो रही है?
Right, Sanju, let him make his point.
Why you are trouble of talking in between? Can't you listen for a minute? I have to reply a question.
You are a Pakistani propagandist.
Should I leave the debate?
Yes or no, the answer
No,
is
go
yes.
ahead, Mr. Ahmad Ayaz, make your point. What I'm trying to understand, because Amir is sitting here. Amir is sitting here. Omar Abdullah very clearly saying that Rahul's not working in Jammu.
Point is that there is...
Okay, Sanju, let him make his
perhaps had been sincere in the Pripol alliance, but perhaps the Congress had been sincere in their efforts to see that the Pripol alliance is done. But there seemed to have been some compulsion with the National Conference as long as Pripol alliance is concerned. But I am doubtful whether this alliance will carry post-election also. I have my own doubts because I don't see that National Conference making any alliance post-election with the Congress or PDP or anybody else. And I see there are possibilities National Conference making an alliance with the BJP as I see in totality.
National Conference going to make an alliance with the BJP, Sanju? He's saying I see a possibility of National Conference making an alliance with the BJP. You've got to respond to that. Is she able to hear me? Sanju, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
He's saying National Conference to make an alliance with the BJP post-elections.
You know, he can come and spew something that, defies logic on national television just to get brownie points. My simple point is this. Even on the basic issue of abrogation of Article 370, I've been on a zillion debates where the National Conference and the Congress spokespeople have been at loggerheads and they're not talking the same language. Kabhi kehte hain, haan, abrogation of Article 370 is illegal. Congress and National Conference, we will get back Article 370 if we come back to power. वो होगा तो नहीं, but ख्याली पुलाव बनाने के लिए गाली भी एक ख्याल अच्छा है.
So
but on some debates, these two parties are speaking a different tune. While the National Conference is very clear, they will get back.
They are giving up on you. The National Conference is giving. The National Conference is going to give up on Congress. Is what Ahmad Ayaz is suggesting.
Not have an alliance with you.
Farooq, Omar Abdullah will be giving up on Congress. Will be giving up on Rahul Gandhi. Is what Mr. Ayaz is suggesting. Amir, very quickly before I go to Mr. Pandit. Last comment.
The only thing I will say to you is that don't be so biased if tomorrow when our government will come to power, that you won't be able to continue your journalism, rather your business. Don't be so biased. I think I'm facing 3 to 4 BJP spokespersons. Everybody is taking the line of BJP.
I could have said what rubbish, but I don't want to say that. I could have said that, Amir, but I don't want to resort to that. It's very clear. Amir, I am asking questions to you which are very much there in the political scenario right now. If you have a problem with them, then I would say that is your problem. I will continue to ask those questions. And I will not be rattled by anybody's presence. Be it you or the BJP, whoever comes to power in Jammu and Kashmir. We will continue to ask questions like that. Last question to Mr. Pandit. Mr. Pandit, what is the political scenario that you see in Jammu and Kashmir unfolding post-elections?
Yes.
Mr. Pandit.
Jammu and Kashmir Jammu and Kashmir will vote out the supporters of terrorism and they'll vote for the progress. They will vote for honor. They will vote for hope. That is what Jammu and Kashmir, the people of Jammu and Kashmir are going to vote for. They are not going to vote for terrorism. They are not going to vote for stone pelters, and they are not going to vote for Pakistani supporters and those people who were into business of terrorism and who looted this country in the name of terrorism. So people have become very intelligent in the last so many years. They know that they have a future with the political party.
No, but Mr. Ayaz has given somewhat of a political coup when he says that National Conference and BJP coming together. Where does that come from, Mr. Ayaz? I will go back to that question again, because here Sanju Verma sitting on the panel very clearly rejecting it. Very clearly rejecting it.
No, yes, they may reject because possibly they are not aware of the scenario, what is there in the ground. There had been a proposed alliance between Congress and NC. How has it come up? See, I have a reason to say about it.
So they will give up on Rahul Gandhi.
Sudden.
They will give up on Congress.
Had there been really a sincere alliance, then it would have been perhaps between National Conference and the PDP when they were in the PGD together. When it came to the elections, they separated. And why did they choose to have an alliance with the Congress? Why? Because there was a problem with the National Conference. They were set to have entered into an alliance at the back with the BJP. Then they sought it to see that they dispel this speculation and tied up with the National Conference. With the Congress. And today, when we see that this alliance on the ground, it has not worked well. You know, the JKPCC president has been, contested by a National Conference leader, of course, as an independent. And then, when Rahul Gandhi came yesterday to the to campaign for his president, his candidate, where was the National Conference? Why they did not contact?
Rahul Gandhi was seen a few weeks back enjoying ice cream.
Okay, Sanju, 10 seconds. I can only give you 10 seconds. Barely, I don't have time left on the debate.
10 years back.
Okay, so
today in Srinagar during Republic Day at the Lal Chowk, you have the Tiranga flying with great pride and honor. This happened after 30 years. Cinema halls open in Kashmir after 32 years. Janagana Mana, Bharat Mata.
But all I can say is that Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir is carving a new identity for itself, and it's on the people of Jammu and Kashmir. What future do they want? What future do they want to carve on the canvas is up to the people to decide. Thank you so much for joining me on the debate. Thank you so much. And we will be slipping into a short break, and we'll be joined by Aishwarya on the other side of the break.